What's good, basketball heads? It's your boy Crush. So now Draymond Green rips the Clippers for disrespecting Paul George. How did they disrespect this man? Because they didn't want to pay him? Because almost 6 seasons, no championships, no Western Conference Finals, nothing to show for it. And they decided, you know what? We don't want to pay this man anymore. We are not sold on this investment. And that's called disrespect? No, that's called business. Why would I keep paying you to lose? I'm already paying Kawhi Leonard, and he's always hurt, banged up, knee problems, load management, and half the time Paul George is hurt as well. So why would I keep paying both these players to lose? I mean, the Clippers, they did pay James Harden $70 million for 2 seasons, 2 years. They re-upped on James Harden, but they weren't willing to pay Paul George the money he wanted. And I understand. He's a great player, a two-way player, a great talent. But as you can see, having Paul George doesn't equate to winning. Yeah, you might win a few regular season games, but when it matters the most in the playoffs, you need to win, advance. He can't get it done. Look what happened last season. Kawhi Leonard got hurt right before the playoffs, a few weeks before the playoffs. The Clippers had Paul George, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Norman Powell. They had enough firepower that it should have been a Game 7 versus Dallas. They had enough talent that it should have been a Game 7. I know Dallas have Luka, Kyrie, and they're a dynamic duo. I get all that. But you mean to tell me Paul George and James Harden can't force a Game 7? Why would I keep spending money paying to lose if I'm Steve Ballmer? We're talking about business. At the end of the day, the NBA is a business. I'm going to pay you all this money, and in return, I need you to win me a championship or make a deep postseason run. Western Conference Finals, NBA Finals. I'm not going to settle for first round exit, second round exits. No. So they didn't pay Paul George. He signed with Philly. They gave him over $200 million. And it's a great look for Philly. It all works out. At the end of the day, it all worked out, man. I know he wanted to be in LA. He's from LA. So I know he wanted to stay, I know he wanted to remain a Clipper, but why would I invest in another 4 seasons of losing, injuries and losing? That don't make any sense. From a business standpoint, that don't make sense. From a basketball standpoint, that don't make sense. It just don't add up. So I understand why they refuse to pay him. So if Draymond Green want to talk about they're disloyal for letting Paul George go, what is he talking about? I could understand if the Warriors did that to Draymond Green and you want to say they're disloyal, it made sense because Draymond Green is a 4-time champion. He's a pivotal player to that organization. That would make sense. But what have Paul George done? If you notice, everybody have been riding on what he did in Miami versus LeBron over a decade ago. That was a long time ago. But everybody's always riding on that situation. And even then, he never had amazing numbers. He was an up-and-coming player. He wasn't a star at the time. He was ascending. He was a young up-and-coming player. But everybody seems to ride on that situation. Like the Indiana Pacers wasn't a good team. They didn't have a great roster. They had a solid team. Hibbert, West, Paul George. They had a really good team. If you look at Paul George's numbers in that series, he wasn't a monster. No, he played great, but he was not. But for some reason, we keep living in that moment, using that to define the man like he's a winner or... I'm not saying the guy's a loser. I'm just saying, come on, man. What have Paul George done in the playoff, in the postseason? We saw what he did in OKC. He joined Russell Westbrook, Carmelo. They got put out by Donovan Mitchell in the first round. You mean to tell me Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and Carmelo was unable to beat Donovan Mitchell? So everywhere he goes, he underperforms in the playoffs. He's like James Harden. He's going to help you get to the postseason. But when you get there and it's time to win, let's win these games, let's advance, that's when he falls, man. So I understand why they didn't pay him. I don't know why Draymond Green is talking about disrespect. Steve Ballmer should feel disrespected. Like, yo, I have paid you, and what do I have to show for it? He should feel disrespected. So I don't know what Draymond Green is talking about. They disrespected Paul George. Like, what have Paul George done as far as the Clippers? Since he joined the Clippers, what have he done? He had an opportunity to make it to the finals in their first season, and that's the year they should have won. They had arguably the deepest team in the NBA. But, he was complacent. The man was feeling himself in the playoff. Oh, we're up 3-1. Oh, now we're up 3-2. Denver's coming back. We're not worried. Oh, now it's a tied series and lost. Because he never took things seriously. He felt good because he had Kawhi. He was crewed up. They had immense talent on that team. A lot of players, man. Lou Williams, Kawhi, Paul George, Montrezl Harrell. That team was loaded. So he was like, you know what? Even though we're up 3-1 on Denver, dudes got complacent. So if I'm Steve Ballmer, I wouldn't pay him either. Why? I don't think the decision was, oh, he's not a great player. No, it's just financially. When you look at the whole situation, it's like, we're going to pay him to lose for another 4 seasons in the playoffs. We can't advance. We can't make it to a finals. Nothing. So this is what Draymond Green had to say. Paul George's tenure there, as far as all NBAs and all-stars, it's not too far off from the best Clipper of all time. And to not be willing to play ball on the sign and trade where he wanted to go, he's one of the best players in your organization's history. I just don't really want to hear people saying like, that guy wasn't loyal. Nah, most of these organizations ain't loyal. This is not a loyal business. You have players sometimes that want to do what they think is best for them, and teams aren't really willing to play ball. And when you take nothing as opposed to something, you don't want to talk loyalty, people. It is a business, and he's correct. A lot of organizations, if not most, aren't loyal. We already know this. This is no surprise. This is something we know. Most organizations aren't loyal. It's a business, and they treat it as such. This is why you have to be in that mind frame. Steve Ballmer is going to do what's best for his business. He's not just going to keep handing out money, millions to lose. It's an investment. I don't feel like they were disloyal to him. The man was there for almost 6 seasons. They paid him. He didn't come through on his promise. He promised he would bring them a championship. That is yet to be seen. So I don't understand what the gripe is with the Clippers not re-signing Paul George or giving him the contract or the extension he wanted. I don't see the issue. So Draymond Green gripe is basically Paul George initially wanted to secure a signing trade with the Warriors so he could join Steph and Draymond on a championship run. But the Clippers refused to concede. So that's his issue basically. They didn't do him that favor, or they didn't do him that solid, because apparently he wanted to join the Warriors, because he knows that's probably his best shot at winning a chip, alongside Steph and Draymond. So that's why Draymond is on his podcast talking about they're disloyal, because he's salty. He's salty that the Clippers didn't send Paul George his way to bolster their roster and enhance their chance at winning. So that's why he's on his podcast, running his mouth about loyalty. Man, why would the Clippers want to help the Warriors win? I mean, it's funny he's saying that because that's the same thing that happened to the Lakers. The Warriors didn't send Klay Thompson to the Lakers because we don't want to help them win. It was the same exact situation. So he's kind of being a hypocrite, because didn't that just happen between Klay Thompson and LeBron Lakers? The Warriors refused to send Klay Thompson to LA, and instead he joined the Mavericks. Why would the Clippers handicap themselves for the foreseeable future? Like, why would I pay Paul George what he wants and then cripple my organization? No, I'm not doing that. This is business. We are in this business to make money and win. So if we can't do both, then I'm sorry. We have to make changes. That's just the way it works. No hard feelings, man. You got paid for your services, so you shouldn't feel, oh, we weren't loyal. And what if Paul George won, like I said? We have seen him through the years. OKC, nothing. Clippers, nothing. He had a little thing with LeBron in Miami, but Paul George have never won at the biggest stage. Yes, they made it to 2 Eastern Conference Finals when he was in Indiana, but then again, the East was weak. Let's be honest. Beyond LeBron's Miami, he had the second best team in the East. Not because he was that dude. I mean, on his team, yes, but not because, Paul George was on LeBron's level. No, the Eastern Conference was very weak. But beyond all that, man, the Clippers did what they had to do. I don't see any issues with it. Me personally, I wouldn't pay him either. It just don't make sense, man. Financially, it don't make sense. You're going to pay somebody to lose, or I'm not going to send you to the team you want so you can win a championship. Call it shady, call it disloyal, whatever. Why would I help another organization win a chip when I want to win a chip myself? That don't add up. So whatever Draymond Green is talking, I don't get it. But yeah, man. But as always, I'll holla. As always, we just talking basketball. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share. Holla at your boy.
It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game. I'ma say it. It's all about the game.